There is no definition that capture all the meaning of terrorism. There is hundreds of them, and this is because of the nature of what terrorism is. But to make it very simple, I think there was a one definition which I recall and I like, which is causing and inflicting harm to people who are not military. It's not combating. It is terrorizing people who, while staying in their homes, they see this, they feel anxious, they feel terrible about what happened, they feel threatened in their own homes. And I think that's what the goal of terrorism is. So although we don't have a good definition, we can say that the cause of this create high profile impact, physical and psychological consequences, which is the purpose of the terrorism that I mean. When you see body parts, when you see all of this, it affects you, it terrorizes you, it makes you insecure. And that's exactly, intimidate the audience, shake the confidence of the people who are watching in their own government. Nobody can protect you, and you are vulnerable, and we are the people who are in control. I know it is not a definition, but that's like it is something to describe what terrorism is. It's calculated act. It has to be unexpected, because if you expect it, then you know about it. It is violence against non-combatant, because if it is violence against combatant, then it is a war. It must have a shocking effect. It must have you say, oh my God. And that's the elements of terrorism. The foundation, there is few of them. And the ideology, in my judgment, is the most important one of them. There is psychological, there is political, there is sociological, there is religious, and then the ideology. And all of these factors contribute to terrorism, or these are the theories which have been proposed to explain terrorism. In my judgment, it is ideology, ideology, ideology are the main forces of, or the main basis for the terrorism. So it is committed on belief system which advance homicide or suicide as a legitimate reason for terrorizing people, for creating what they want. And the end result of this ideology is to create a caliphate system. Caliphate system, which means a political system that is governed by one imam or one sheikh, and the whole world will be under the authority of this religious person. Justification, it is basically what they are taught. Again, the ideology of the West has been against us. The West has been taking our resources from the Middle East. The West have occupied us, and you know there has been a history of occupation in the Middle East and Pakistan and all of this and India. So they take this as justification. This is the political. Number two, the West had no business to go to conquer Iraq. I'm talking about the recent terrorists, the most recent one, about Iraq. The West ruined the country, and basically the states and Israel. Israel is dragged on anything bad in the Middle East, so they blame Israel as well for this. States and Israel and the West. They complain about the deterioration in their own country, either economic or political or social or whatever, on the West. It's always easier for people to complain about somebody else or put the blame on somebody else. If I put the blame on you, then I must be better than you, and it makes me safe. Psychologically, it is better. Then there is the other theory. This is very brief, like the political one. Then you talk about the social theory, which say poverty, and some said alienation. People in the West, that's this explanation, mostly in the West, although also it is used in the Middle East, that the majority don't really have a stake, don't have say on what happened around them, and that may create frustration. In here, when they say, for example, the alienation in France, whereby the North Africans and the Muslim community are in a small area in France, so they are alienated, they don't have much money, they don't have jobs, and people discriminate against them, and all of this. That's the social. The psychological one is frustration lead to terrorism, the way of beliefs, of thinking, of behavior. So there is a host of theories that the psychological part of it that explain or attempted to explain as to why people commit terrorism. So it is a host of many reasons, and everybody is trying to explain as to what happened, why there is such this phenomena, which, by the way, it is not new. It is even before Jesus Christ was born. So we know that. But the recent one, everybody is trying to put a reason to what's going on. In my judgment, it is boiled down to the ideology. Also, in the psychological side of things, the way people think, they think in terms of black and white. They think only, their thinking is rigid. They possess the absolute truth. Nobody else has truth but them. So this is the mentality of the terrorist, and he must convert everybody to be to belong to his group or to belong to his religion. And the ultimate goal is, with the political side, is to create the caliphate system.